Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play. I've discovered that while I'm junk journaling, a lot of it is like a creative practice, and I think it helps us in all of our art. And it's a great place to also display all of our art. So I thought, what a fun, easy, beginner-friendly way to do creative exercises, improve our artistic confidence, and, refine your personal style, or find it if you haven't found it already. So I hope you'll join me, and, we'll just play about weekly, or weekly-ish. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to do some writing, poetry even. So this is an example. I haven't used a full page, just a half page, and the poem reads, "The end of night, vision, into the skies, circles above, flicks sunlight, empty, his eyes searching, wonder itself, she stirs." So what this is called is blackout poetry, and I tend to just grab one of my book pages and I make them. So here's another one. The silence listening, holding them still. Brightness touches his cheeks, new, instructed patience slipped. Sombre look disappearing, and he tries to laugh. Don't know quite what it means, but you just come up with something new, and it's nice to use as is, and it's fun to find little phrases or little poetic stories. So the way that I start out is I generally just grab a pencil and I just scan the page, and I try and do it as instinctively as possible. I tend to just underline little words or phrases that jump out to me. I'm not thinking about them going together. I'm just literally picking out little words that I think, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I often start with a pencil. Sometimes I go straight to the pen, and this is sort of your first scan through. So, I'm not really finding anything there that's jumping out, maybe that, young as she was. And I just keep going. And I did on this one just think about, a little word to go on the end. But young as she was could have been the end of something as well. So it seems to always work out that it works out on the end anyway. So there you go. Now, the next step is, there we go. That's it. So the next step is to black out everything that's behind it. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, I started out with a pen, but because it wasn't a wide one, I ended up changing my mind and using something that was a bit wider so that I could be quicker with it. But here we go at the start. So I'm just blacking out everything except that first phrase that I chose, somewhere hereabout. So you can see it's very easy. You're just blacking out everything behind what the little words that you underlined or that you picked out. And you can rub out that pencil line if you need to later, or you can leave it. And even the way that the background ends up gives you an interesting texture. So it can be kind of fun if you're using book pages in your journals to just add some little blackout poetry. All right, so then I grabbed my brush pen. This is just a black brush pen, and I used that. As you can see, a lot quicker. It's thicker. If you use a chisel, Sharpie, then that works really well. So yeah, nice and easy. Just literally blacking out everything behind those words. So what have we got so far? Somewhere hereabout, heard the sound, close, and then I think I'm blacking out everything in this paragraph. Oh no, I did actually, that's right. I did choose something and then I edited it. So that's the other thing that you can do, is edit what you've got. So when you first read through, you might think, oh no, I don't think that phrase or word works in there. And so then you'll edit that out. Very, very easy. So here we go, just going up to that word, down to the next bit. Tell you what, you can see the process here. let's skip ahead. Ah, that's better. Somewhere hereabout, heard the sound close. Young as she was, struck me, that moment seen. So, yeah, you create something completely new. And oftentimes mine end up quite melancholy, but at other times they end up, quite happy. So I think it's also important, whilst you can create something out of every single text, here I started on a page. I really didn't like the words on this page. So I left it. I thought, nah, not really into that. So then I just turned it over. And that seemed to work out better. So again, same principle. I just scanned down and picked out little phrases that I thought, jumped out at me in that moment. So I'm not thinking about it a lot. I'm literally scanning as quick as I can. Now, you can make these a little bit more arty by thinking about how you're going to actually black it out. So in this one, look, really simple example, just showing you 3 different shades of green, but it does give you an idea. So I've done ones where, I've circled them and then I've kind of made images out of the background. If you do a search, there are actually some books that are blackout poetry. Like there's one man who did it only from the New York Times. There are other ones where they've done amazing patterns in the background and made them something new. So you can get quite arty, but just the practice of working with words is actually really nice. It's something a little bit different in our journals, but we do use words a lot. Like we use little phrases to embellish things. So it's a similar practice. You could do it in your journal, or you can have fun and do it, just as something while you're sitting on the couch and you're just doing a bit of blackout poetry. It's a nice way to use up book pages. There's lots of advantages. And as I said, you can get all nice and creative with how your blackout looks. The patterns it makes are usually quite wonderful and you can often add to them. So there you are. So here, when I first read it through, I worked out that there were some words that I'd underlined, but that I didn't want anymore. They just didn't flow, so I just took them out. So you can see here that I'm blacking out some extra words. So just quickly, left and right lingering on her face. True feeling, so sad, gently discouraged, still touching his hand. Tell me how you know. Bit odd. All right, now the other thing you can do is punch out circles and do little poems from that. This is just words. Trudged, wild reaching, destroyed, limping, sitting, walked. It's a bit strange, isn't it? So there are lots of different ways that you can play with blackout poetry. You can do it just for the sake of the words. You can do it as decorations in your book, or just have a play. Something a little bit different this week. Take care. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.